Hello, thank you for being here. I don't believe you clicked on this video by accident. There is a reason you're watching right now, because something in your spirit has been searching for change, for clarity, for favor. My name is Elena, and I was once deeply involved in witchcraft. Not the kind people joke about, but the kind that operates in darkness, in secrecy, the kind that manipulates spiritual laws most people don't even know exist. But today I stand on the other side of that life, free, redeemed, and filled with a truth I cannot keep to myself. Because what I'm about to share with you are three things you must do every morning if you truly want to attract God's favor into your life. And listen carefully, because I'm not speaking theory. I'm speaking from experience, both sides of the spiritual world. In the covens I was part of, we studied people, we observed patterns, and do you know what we feared the most? Not loud prayers, not church attendance. We feared consistent spiritual discipline in the early morning, because morning is not just a time of day, morning is a gateway. There is a shift that happens between night and day, a spiritual transition where decisions are made, where alignments are set, where favor can either be activated or delayed, and most people slip through it. The first thing you must understand is this: when you wake up, you are stepping into a spiritual battlefield. Before your phone, before your messages, before your responsibilities, something unseen is already trying to influence your day. And if you don't take control in those first moments, something else will. I remember mornings in the coven, we would wake before sunrise, not randomly, not occasionally, but consistently, because we knew something most people ignore: the early morning carries power. But now on this side, I use that same understanding for light, not darkness. So let me show you the first thing you must do, the first thing you must do. The first thing is speak to God before you speak to anyone else. Not later, not after scrolling, not after distractions, immediately. Because the first voice you align with shapes your entire day. When I was deep in witchcraft, we would set intentions early. Words, declarations, alignments. Why? Because words spoken in the morning carry authority throughout the day. So imagine this: if darkness understands the power of early words, how much more powerful is it when you begin your day speaking to God? But here's where most people get it wrong. They think it has to be long, complicated, religious. No, it has to be real. It can be as simple as: God, I give you this day. Lead me, protect me, align me with your favor. Do you know what happens when you do that? You interrupt every negative assignment before it even begins. You take authority before confusion has a chance to enter. You invite divine alignment before chaos can form. And I've seen the difference. There were days when I woke up and didn't pray, and everything felt heavy, slow, off. And there were days when I spoke to God first, and doors opened effortlessly. Not coincidence, alignment, because favor is not random. It is attracted. Now let me tell you something deeper. When I was still in darkness, we could sense people who prayed in the morning. They were harder to influence, harder to manipulate, harder to attack, because they had already covered their day. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't rush, pause, and speak. Even if your voice is tired, even if your mind feels foggy, because heaven responds to sincerity, not perfection. Now, the second thing you must do every morning is something that most people ignore, but it is one of the most powerful secrets I learned after living that life. You must guard your mind before the world enters it, because your mind is a doorway. And mornings are when that door is the most open. When I was in witchcraft, we understood this clearly. People are most vulnerable right after they wake up. Their thoughts are unfiltered, their defenses are low, and whatever enters their mind first begins to take root. So what do most people do? They grab their phone, they scroll, they consume fear, comparison, stress, negativity, and they don't even realize they are programming their entire day. But if you want God's favor, you cannot start your day feeding your mind with confusion. You must be intentional. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, fill your mind with truth, with peace, with something that strengthens your spirit. Because whatever dominates your thoughts shapes your reality. I had to learn this the hard way. There was a season after I left witchcraft where I still struggled internally. Fear, anxiety, old patterns trying to pull me back. But everything changed when I became intentional about my mornings. Instead of letting my mind wander, I began to direct it, and slowly, peace replaced fear. Clarity replaced confusion, and favor began to follow me. Not because life became perfect, but because I became aligned, and that's what this is really about. Alignment, not luck, not chance, not coincidence, alignment with God. Now, there is one more thing, the third thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the one that changed everything for me. This is the one that completely broke the patterns of my past and activated a level of favor I had never experienced before. But it's also the one most people struggle to do consistently. Hello again, if you're still here, that tells me something important. You're not just listening, you're searching. And I promised you the third thing, the one that changed everything for me. The one that broke chains I didn't even realize was still attached to my life. But before I reveal it, I need you to understand something deeper, because what I'm about to share is not just a habit. It is a spiritual trigger, a key, a decision that shifts your entire day from ordinary into divine alignment. The third thing you must do every morning is this: you must surrender your will before your day begins. Not partially, not casually, fully. Now I know that word surrender makes many people uncomfortable because it sounds like weakness, like giving up control. But what I learned, both in darkness and now in truth, is this: everyone is surrendered to something: fear, pride, desire, control, or God. And the difference between struggle and favor is what you choose to surrender to first thing in the morning. When I was deep in witchcraft, we didn't call it surrender, but that's exactly what it was. We surrendered our will to dark influence, to rituals, to instructions that didn't come from light. And because of that, we gained access to certain results. But those results always came with a cost. Peace was missing. Rest was missing. Joy was completely absent. And when I walked away from that life, I thought freedom would be automatic. But it wasn't, because I still had one problem. I wanted God's help, but I still wanted control, and that creates conflict, because God does not force His will into your life. He responds to invitation. So every morning you have a choice: run your day your way or surrender it and allow Him to lead. I remember the exact morning everything changed for me. I woke up feeling overwhelmed, confused, pulled in different directions. And for the first time, I said something different. I didn't ask for blessings. I didn't ask for protection. I simply said, God, not my will today, yours. And something shifted. Not around me, but inside me. The pressure lifted. The anxiety faded. And for the first time, I felt guided instead of lost. That day, things didn't just work out, they aligned. Conversations happened at the right time. Opportunities came without struggle. Decisions felt clear. And I realized something powerful. Favor doesn't chase effort. It follows surrender. Let me say that again. Favor doesn't chase effort. It follows surrender. Because when you surrender your will, you step out of resistance and into alignment. And alignment is where favor lives. But here's where many people struggle. They think surrender means doing nothing. No, surrender means trusting God enough to follow His direction, even when it doesn't match your plan. It means releasing control over outcomes. It means letting go of the need to understand everything before moving. And yes, it's not easy because your mind will fight it. Your habits will resist it. Your past will try to pull you back into control. But every morning you choose again, and over time, that choice becomes transformation. Now let me connect all three for you, because this is where it becomes powerful. When you speak to God first, you establish connection. When you guard your mind, you protect alignment. And when you surrender your will, you activate favor. This is not religion. This is not routine. This is spiritual strategy. And I know it works because I've seen the opposite. I've seen what happens when mornings are ignored, when minds are unguarded, when control replaces surrender. Confusion, delay, struggle. But I've also seen what happens when these three are applied consistently: peace in chaos, clarity in uncertainty, doors opening that no effort could force. That is favor. And listen, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say the right words. You don't have to get it all together overnight. Just start. Tomorrow morning, before anything else, pause. Speak to God. Guard your mind. Surrender your will, even if it feels small, even if it feels unfamiliar, because consistency is what makes it powerful. And one more thing, don't expect it to feel dramatic every day. Sometimes it will feel quiet, simple, almost ordinary, but that's how real transformation works. Slow, steady, deep, until one day you look back and realize you're not the same person anymore, and the things that once controlled you no longer have power over you. That's what happened to me. I went from darkness to clarity, from control to peace, from striving to favor. And if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. So tomorrow, make a different choice, not a big one, a consistent one, because your morning is where your life begins again every single day. And what you do in that moment will determine more than you realize. Thank you for listening, and if this spoke to you, don't ignore it. Act on it, because favor is waiting for alignment,